Hey all, Hipper here. So I think I've finally found a use for Azur lane Montpelier here, and I've decided just to put her on Alaska as a permanent fixture with Viang here and Azuma. So a full anti-dispersion build, and it's not because I really think this build is awesome and works exactly like it should. You can see here you get 10% extra incoming fire dispersion with her special skill, which is the whole point of the build. But I don't really know what else to put on Alaska, and I want to be a little different from everybody else, so I'm not going to put any of the other commanders on. I also have Azur lane Baltimore. I used to run her on this ship here, but her special perk of absolute ammunition that gives your AP 40% less fuse time, I don't really think it does much. In some very rare instances you don't get overpens, but I don't think it's worth really speccing into that much. So I have made Azur lane Montpelier my fixed commander on Alaska, and that works fairly well. I mean, it's not an agile commander because no matter what you do, this ship will never be agile. So there's no point. The turning radius is simply too huge, and it's not really what this ship does well anyway. It has no torpedoes or anything like that. So although you can make the rudder about 3 seconds on Alaska, I don't think it's worth it. There are better builds, and like I said, just to be a little bit different and use something that no one else does, I guess. I don't think many people have Azur lane Montpelier up to 16.3 like I do. It's just, yeah, to have something different, I guess. And it is an accuracy commander, and yeah, the ship is accurate, and I don't have double rudder on it. I have, I believe I have acceleration and concealment module. I could have rudder in the first slot, I honestly don't remember. But to me it works pretty well, this, and I choose to believe that the incoming dispersion is better for me, worse for the enemy. I mean, there is no way of telling, because you are buying a commander that makes an unknown stat better, which is okay. There's no measure of how much better your bad, worse, or whatever you want to call it, your incoming dispersion is. You just have to trust Wargaming that it is. And I don't really know if I feel any difference in the incoming dispersion. I don't really think so. Sometimes, perhaps, but in the end, that could all be up to RNG and had nothing to do with this commander here. It's very hard to know, and that's why I usually don't spec into commanders which improve something I don't know. So I don't usually do accuracy builds, and I don't usually do this incoming dispersion build here either, but like I said, let's just make this Alaska here just a little bit different from everyone else's, and hopefully in some way negate everybody else's accuracy builds, because pretty much everyone runs accuracy builds. So in theory I should neutralize their accuracy builds while I keep my own accuracy. In theory, again, because there is absolutely no way of knowing. And it's not like a rudder build where you can instantly feel when you put on more rudder, or a reload where you absolutely know for certain that, oh, my reload is 10% faster or whatever. The incoming dispersion is just so unscientific that it's pretty much impossible to know. But I'm just choosing to believe that the incoming dispersion is better with this build here, or worse, or whatever you want to call it. So I like to be a little bit different in this game here. I don't want to run the same builds that everybody else run, every meta build out there. That's just not my thing. So this is probably the best ship I could find to put Azur lane Montpelier on, because you spend so much time bow tanking in Alaska, and I guess like a worse incoming dispersion is a good thing, because most of the time you are quite a slim target. So I mean, it should help. And with this build here, I've stacked every possible dispersion, like incoming dispersion I can find. So of course I have the camouflage, that's 5%, and then I have the module on the ship, that's 10%, and then I have the commander, that's another 10%, that's 25% I think. And then I have the inspirations, they're about another 5% or something, so around 30% in total. And I will say that it doesn't feel like the incoming dispersion is 30% worse at all. But I'm just gonna decide to leave it and say like, yes, okay, I have an incoming dispersion build, and in theory it's nice and it should work. And well, I mean, I have been doing well in Alaska after I put it on. That's certainly better than Azure Lane Baltimore. But if that's just like coincidence, or actually down to the commander, or just the matchmaking, or just because I play on a Sunday or another instead of a Tuesday, or I play at 10 p.m. instead of 2 p.m. I mean, it's impossible to know. There's so many variables in this game here, and yeah, I've said it a few times and I'll say it again, but speccing into an unknown variable to me doesn't make any sense. But I have the commander and she's almost fully upgraded, so she has a new home here on Alaska. But if I had to buy the commander myself, I don't think I would. I know I wouldn't. She's not really that interesting from my perspective, so I don't want to leave her out in the cold. I mean, in theory, her skill is really good, and hopefully it does actually work. But like I said, this is a 30% incoming dispersion build, and I am having a very, very hard time actually seeing any difference at all. And this is from someone who runs double rudder on all cruisers. So really the only incoming dispersion buff I have is the camouflage, which is 5%. So for me, this is an improvement of 25%. And I really think you should be able to feel that, because you are giving up everything else for this feature. But honestly, I see very little proof of this working. And I kind of chalk that up to the fact that you can't control it in any way, and sometimes shells hit and sometimes shells don't hit. But there is no way of doing any sorts of like math or proof on this, because you just have to hope that the numbers are actually what's happening. And like I said, I have been doing slightly better in Alaska with this build here, so perhaps it is worth it, or perhaps I just don't get so many shatters because I don't use Azure Lane Baltimore. I don't know. Who knows? But that was a very nice triple citadel there on the Implacable. So it's a fun build. It's a different build. It makes me stand out from the crowd, and I'm sure it'll make Aaron and Peak annoyed when I tell them, oh, I run a anti-dispersion build. And I'm sure Peak will say, why don't you run accuracy? And that's pretty much the reason I run this build. Because I can't really run an agile build on this ship when I'm in a division with other players, because it doesn't make sense. So might as well run something new and interesting here. I will also say that Alaska is actually a lot more fun to play these days, where you actually, face other ships than just Yamato and Großer Kurfürst. Like you can actually, run into Minotaurs and all the other cruisers that are in Legendary tier now. Because wow, it was terribly boring earlier, and I think actually Alaska was the most boring ship at Legendary tier. That's better now, because you can actually punish some other cruisers, some other cruiser broadsides, especially Minotaurs and Worcesters. Good fun. So yeah, Alaska is kind of, well, the Baltimore of Legendary tier now, I guess. And although I don't like Baltimore much, I will still say that it's certainly better than it used to be. The Kurfürst got a double strike there, very nice. But I'm just focusing on capping this little tiny cappy area here. This map here, Two Brothers, is also pretty much the perfect map for Alaska, and the perfect map for an Alaska with you know, incoming dispersion build. Because I actually didn't take much damage in this game here. But again, perhaps people just didn't aim at me, perhaps they didn't shoot at me. Yeah, there's no way of knowing. Which is a shame, because I really want to know these things. I wish there was a stat for absolutely everything in the game. Your accuracy, like your incoming dispersion, your everything should have a number, and then when you pop your commander on, you can see the improvement in that number, like in a percentage, just like the other, guns and torpedoes and all that stuff. When you improve them, then the percentage goes up. But when you improve your accuracy and all the other unknown stuff there, like, it's just, it doesn't really make me trust that you actually get anything for your hard-earned doubloons here. But I will put this commander on Alaska for a while now, until something else comes out that's interesting, and that could probably be a while. And then I'll see how I do, if there's any sort of difference with this build here, or if it's just pretty much the same. And like, it is, I have been doing better. I've said that probably 3 times now in this video, but I have. And like I said, I have to play more games so I can know if I can attribute that to the commander, or if it's just dumb luck. Who knows? So we're getting to the end of this battle here, and we are behind on points. So we only have 2 minutes left, so it's going to be very, very tight here. I mean, I am trying to cap this last cap here, but it would be nice to just finish this game off here with taking out the last red ship, so we are absolutely sure we're going to win. It does look like we actually might be able to do it without here, especially when I finish capping. But it's always good to get those little naughty ships in the end here, and it turns out it's an Eugen, so we'll just finish capping. I didn't want to shoot before because I didn't want to go spotted, so he could reset me when we are this close on points. But now we're going to actually go ahead here, so I'm just waiting for him to come out here. And of course, this is a situation where I would actually like to have Azur lane Baltimore on this ship here, because this should be a kill shot. 9 kilometers away, and I end up getting no less than 7 overpens on this Eugen here. Okay, yeah, I don't know how that happened, but it's sort of infuriating, because yeah, I don't know how I could do that any better. But whatever, it's the RNG mechanics of this game here. And I could have used a 4th kill, but obviously that's not gonna happen. So the battleship is going to come in and take him out. So that's all good. So that was the Azur lane Montpelier on Alaska. And it's an interesting, different build, but yeah, I'm just using the commander because I have her. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you out there.